In the middle of the 20th century, when the American highway was still young and families were discovering the thrill of road trips, there was one surefire way to make kids beg their parents to pull over: dinosaurs. Not the skeletons in dusty museum halls, but towering concrete beasts looming over the roadside. Creatures so big, so strange, that they promised something magical if you just took the next exit. These weren't theme parks in the Disney sense. They were part folk art, part roadside attraction, and part fever dream of American ambition. Built by eccentric sculptors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries, concrete dinosaur parks became icons of post-war leisure. They lured millions of families off the highways, cementing their place in the mythology of the open road. Let's step back into a time when Tyrannosaurus rex, made of chicken wire and cement, was king of the roadside. Birth of the roadside giants. The concept was simple: build something enormous, impossible to ignore from a passing car, and travelers would stop. In the 1920s and 30s, long before interstates, roadside attractions competed for attention with neon signs, billboards, and novelty architecture shaped like teapots, shoes, or oranges. But dinosaurs, timeless, terrifying, and beloved by children, proved to be the ultimate lure. In 1933, as part of the Century of Progress World's Fair in Chicago, life-sized plaster dinosaurs were displayed as scientific wonders. Visitors marveled, and entrepreneurs took note. If a dinosaur could draw crowds in a city, why not on a lonely stretch of highway? The era of the concrete dinosaur park had begun. Sinclair Oil and the dinosaur craze. One unlikely promoter of the dinosaur boom was Sinclair Oil.
So familiar to all of us, our own Dino. On formal occasions he's called Brontosaurus. Big fella, isn't he? 70 feet long.
Beginning in the 1930s, the company adopted the Brontosaurus, today called Apatosaurus, as its corporate mascot. Its green dinosaur logo became one of the most recognizable in America. At the 1933 World's Fair, and again at the 1964 New York World's Fair, Sinclair sponsored massive dinosaur exhibits that captivated children. Families left with toy dinosaur souvenirs and a lasting association between road trips and prehistoric giants. Independent roadside operators saw an opportunity. If Sinclair could make families love dinosaurs, maybe a giant T-Rex off Route 66 could bring in customers for soda, postcards, and gasoline. Dinosaur Park, Rapid City, South Dakota. One of the earliest and most enduring dinosaur parks, opened in 1936 in Rapid City, South Dakota. Built by the Works Progress Administration during the Great Depression, it featured 5 massive concrete dinosaurs perched on a hill overlooking the city. They weren't anatomically perfect. The Brontosaurus had stubby legs. The Triceratops looked a bit too cheerful. But accuracy didn't matter. What mattered was scale. Kids could climb them, families could pose for photos, and the dinosaurs became landmarks for travelers heading to Mount Rushmore. The park still stands today, its weathered concrete beasts painted bright green, living proof of how imagination could outlast science. Prehistoric Gardens, Oregon. In 1955, sculptor Ernie Nelson began creating prehistoric gardens along Highway 101 near Port Orford, Oregon. Nelson studied paleontology to make his dinosaurs as accurate as possible, sculpting them from concrete and steel and placing them in a lush rainforest setting. Here, families wandered through a prehistoric fantasy land where moss-draped trees and ferns framed towering stegosauruses and snarling carnivores. It was less kitschy than other parks, part science lesson, part spectacle, and it drew visitors for decades as the highway hugged the Pacific coast.
The New York World's Fair. Something for everybody. And wherever you turn, something of awe, interest, excitement, and...
The roadside icons of Route 66 nowhere embraced concrete dinosaurs like Route 66. As the Mother Road carried millions of families west after World War II, every town competed to lure them off the pavement. Dinosaurs became ideal mascots for motels, gas stations, and diners. In Holbrook, Arizona, the Wigwam Motel featured dinosaurs on postcards and roadside ads. Not far away, Dinosaur Park in Tucumcari, New Mexico, displayed towering cement lizards to catch the eyes of motorists barreling west toward California. But the most famous of all were the Cabazon dinosaurs in California. Built in the 1960s by Claude Bell, a former sculptor for Knott's Berry Farm, these concrete monsters included a 150-foot-long brontosaurus named Dinny and a 65-foot-tall T-Rex named Mr. Rex. Families could actually climb inside the dinosaurs. The brontosaurus housed a gift shop in its belly. By the 1980s, the Cabazon dinosaurs became pop culture icons, appearing in movies like Pee-wee's Big Adventure and The Wizard. They remain among the most photographed roadside attractions in America. The family road trip ritual. For kids of the 1950s and 60s, spotting a roadside dinosaur was the highlight of any trip. "Mom, Dad, stop! Dinosaurs!" meant pulling over, stretching legs, and entering a world that felt magical. Parents bought souvenirs, snacks, or postcards, while kids climbed the reptiles and dreamed of prehistoric adventures. Concrete dinosaurs transformed the monotony of long drives into treasure hunts. They were signals that America's highways weren't just roads. They were playgrounds filled with surprises.
The ponderous Trachodon, 32 feet long and 14 feet high, 1,500 teeth, and not a single cavity. Tyrannosaurus, king of the tyrant lizards. Not much on looks, maybe.
The downfall of the concrete giants. By the 1970s and 80s, the golden age of dinosaur parks began to fade. The new interstate highway system bypassed many small towns and their quirky attractions. Families drove faster and farther, preferring big theme parks like Disneyland and Six Flags over roadside oddities. Meanwhile, advances in paleontology made the old concrete models look cartoonish. Children raised on Jurassic Park sneered at clumsy brontosaurs with dragging tails. Some parks fell into disrepair, paint peeled, weeds grew, and the dinosaurs became eerie relics of a more innocent era. Many closed entirely, demolished for shopping centers or simply abandoned to the elements. Survivors and revivals. Yet not all the giants vanished. Rapid City's Dinosaur Park still greets visitors, as does Oregon's Prehistoric Gardens. The Cabazon dinosaurs remain wildly popular, updated with new paint and still offering gift shops inside their bellies. In Glen Rose, Texas, the Dinosaur Valley State Park preserves both real fossilized tracks and fiberglass replicas, blending science and spectacle. Across the country, new parks have appeared, inspired by the nostalgia of the originals. Even if the era of roadside dinosaurs has passed, their spirit lives on in every oversized attraction that lures families to stop. Giant balls of twine, muffler men, and novelty diners all owe something to the concrete dinosaurs. Why they mattered. The concrete dinosaur parks weren't just silly roadside gimmicks. They symbolized America's optimism, its love of the highway, and its desire to blend education with fun. They were affordable, accessible, and deeply democratic. Any family with a car could experience them. They also showed the power of imagination in shaping landscapes. A lonely stretch of desert or prairie could be transformed into a destination simply by planting a dinosaur in the dirt. For children, they were awe-inspiring gateways to both the past and the future, sparking curiosity about science, adventure, and the thrill of discovery. The concrete dinosaur parks of mid-century America may seem kitschy now, but for millions of families, they were unforgettable. They were promises that the road ahead wasn't just asphalt. It was filled with wonder, surprise, and magic waiting at the next exit. Even today, when you stumble upon a faded dinosaur by the highway, you feel that same childhood jolt of awe. These giants, born of concrete and imagination, still whisper the same message they did decades ago. Pull over, stay a while, and let your imagination run wild.